My name is Raul Lopez. I'm 18 years old, and I grew up here in Cicero. Growing up, I didn't have a father in my life. I had a single mother. She wasn't really around because she had to work 2 jobs to support my sister and myself. So I kind of grew up with my uncles being my male role model, my male figures in my life. And I can just remember being a little kid, and they taught me to value fancy clothes, fast money, things of that sort. And I glorified all of it. I wanted it, and I remember thinking that I would do anything to get it. When I was about 14, 15 years old, I just remember, after being younger, following my uncles around every time they would walk off the porch and whatever else. People began to recognize my face, and people began to recognize who I was. So I started to get talked to by all the older people in the gang, and they kind of sent me to go do stuff and, go do this, go do that. And they even had gone as far as, stuff that I probably can't talk about, but that's what pushed me to be involved with that when I was around that age. I guess around 14, 15 years old, they don't look at you as a little kid anymore. When you grow up in it, that's kind of what they teach you, and that's all you know. And that's kind of why I feel like that's why I took that path. As far as other kids who didn't grow up around that and don't have that around, it's sad to see, and it's sad to say that there are people who live good lives and they still decide to act like that. So I feel like it wasn't something that I woke up one day and was like, I want to be this. It was more like, that's what I was taught, and it kind of just happened. It just kind of got motioned into it, So I don't feel like I woke up one day and was like, I want to be this. It was more like, this is the life that everyone's living around me, and it's the life that was pushed onto me, if that makes sense. I didn't realize till I was about 16 years old that these people didn't really care anything about me. I was driving home from work one day, and somebody had recognized me from a different altercation in the past, and I drove past him, and he fired 3 shots into the back of my truck. One of the bullets had grazed the side of my head, and I just remember feeling like my head felt like it was on fire. I almost crashed pulling into my driveway, and my mom runs outside, and she had to rush me to the hospital. And I just remember being in the hospital, and nobody was there but her. And it really made me realize who's really there for you. And these guys that told me that no matter what, they're gonna be there, and they weren't. When I got to the hospital, I just remember thinking, if I didn't hit that one dude, or if I didn't do this, it wouldn't have happened. And I sit back and think about all the altercations I got into, and it's like, was it really worth it? I was very fortunate enough for the bullet to graze the side of my head and have all that happens. But had it been an inch over, and who knows where I'd be right now. So for that reason, I tried to walk away as best as I could. And I was doing good for a little while until junior year in high school. I kind of got pulled back into it. Some of the guys that I used to know from then, one of them had got jumped, and he calls me up and asked me if I know these guys. And I heard of them, but I don't know them like that. And what's up? He said, oh, we're gonna get them tomorrow. We're gonna pay them back, this and this and that. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And even though it wasn't my business, like I said, just having that young mindset, I just glorified it. I liked that. I used to love the drama. So we ended up starting a brawl on the 2nd floor, and we all got arrested. And I remember in the back of the paddy wagon, we're all hyped up, whatever. It was a funny time. We beat them up, whatever. And at this point in my life, I don't talk to none of them anymore. It's kind of something where you think about, wow, was that really worth it? So when I went to court, instead of getting smacked with fees and whatever else, they had given me the J.I.P program. And I've heard about it before, and I always thought of it as, man, dude, that's lame. Ain't nobody wants to go there. But with going there, I really got a new perspective on life and a new perspective on what it is that I should value, and just the lessons and the stories it is that you hear from the staff. It's honestly life-changing. I remember after I finished the program, I started to deassociate myself with people that I felt like just weren't good to have around. People that I felt like if I was with them, they would threaten my life, or people that knew them would threaten my life. So it's funny how it is that after it is that you try to do better for yourself, people begin to hate you for that, because they want to keep you around in the mess. They don't want you to be successful, especially when it is that you're being successful without them. So I started to work more and just kind of stay away from everybody, and more drama continued to my new house that I had actually moved into. And my living room ended up getting shot up at 2 o'clock in the morning. 4 shots go into the living room, and my mother and my little sister are sleeping on the couch. And it's the worst feeling in the world when it is that, just to even think that it's even possible for your mother or your little sister or anyone else in your family, for them to lose their life over a mistake that you made in the past. And it's not the story that I wanted to live. So I moved away from the house I felt that my mother and my sister would be safer. So I moved out of state, actually, and I had moved to Texas, basically for a fresh start. I felt like I needed it. I needed to go somewhere where I didn't know anybody and nobody knew me, and I can just focus on being successful. So one of the lessons that I had heard, I had listened to in the J.I.P program was Eddie Lopez. He was speaking on a story that he had went through, and I felt like it related so much to me. And he had said that, he started off pretty badly, and he was with a group of guys that kind of all wanted to make fast money at the same time. And when he made up enough money to leave, he wanted to move away, and he let them know that, thinking that those are his guys and they're gonna be happy for him to move away and be successful. And that wasn't the case. They ended up setting him up, telling him to bring his cash to the deal, and they shot him and they left him there. Took his money, and he ended up going to jail. Trying to leave to be successful, his own homeboys didn't even want that for him. And it's like you sit and think about, like, these are the people that you eat with, these are the people that you make money with, and they don't even want you to be successful. So that was one of the stories that I feel like really related to me, and I felt like, wow, like, it's not only me going through this, it's not only me that's been through this. And basically seeing how Eddie is now, how he changed his perspective, and he's doing a lot of work for the town of Cicero, trying to help out the youth, and becoming a business owner and things like that. I knew where it is that I should head my direction in life. I honestly feel that the youth should go through a program such as the J.I.P, just for the fact that not everybody at home has positive role models to look up to, and people really enlisting in good lessons to them, and that everybody has their own story, and not everybody's is the greatest. But here at the J.I.P program, you have role models here talking to you, and you're able to talk to them, and it's just a comfortable energy all the way around. And not everybody has that at home. So with this being available, I feel like a lot more kids can be set on the right path because of the J.I.P program. Before the J.I.P program, you would either just get your community service or you'll take your charge, and that was it. But with you guys really being here, I feel like you guys can really touch a lot of kids' hearts and really change their mindsets away from what it is that they're glorifying now. And that just has something to do with them not having positive role models back at home. But I can definitely say that any staff member in the J.I.P program, they're definitely positive role models that anyone should be able to talk to. To the youth currently in the J.I.P program, I know that you feel like you're wasting your time and you don't want to be there. But in all honesty, if you put forth the effort that they're asking you to really get involved and listen to what it is that they're saying, I really feel like there's some takeaway points that you can apply to your life at home, and while you're out with your friends and whatever else, and all of you can be successful. Instead of hyping each other up to fight and do all this other stuff, why not hype each other up to do good? And then you don't have to sit there through court or sit there in a cell for no reason. For stuff that's not going to matter in 5 years, there's no reason for it. If I had to say anything personal to anyone, I'd really appreciate Eddie Lopez for the fact that even though it was a strict attendance, I remember I had spoken to him about some stuff that I had got into, because while I was at the J.I.P program, I was actually still getting into more drama. And I remember getting chased